Good afternoon to everybody. This is a meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Today is December the 2nd of 2021, and I'm calling this meeting to order.
Roll call.
Yes, sir.
Erasmo Villarreal.
Present.
Jorge Dominguez.
Present.
Ike Baron.
Present.
Welcome, Mr. Baron.
Thank you.
Abraham Lugo.
Present.
Johnny M. Narvaez.
Present.
Hussein Huang. Larry Dovalina.
Here.
Daniela Salapaz.
Here.
Ana Villarreal. For the record, we have quorum.
Okay. Do we have any commissioners that have called in?
Ms. Villarreal won't be able to attend today.
And I believe Ms. Wang also had a prior commitment.
Conflict,
Correct.
yes.
All right. Can we have a motion to excuse
They
him?
be excused.
A motion and a second?
Second.
And a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. All right. Next item. Can everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item we have is a consideration of the approval of the minutes of the meeting of November the 18th. I'll give you all.
Mr. Chairman, before
Yes.
we vote on it, I read through and I noticed that I was not excused. I'm not showing that I was absent last meeting, and it doesn't show that I was excused. I just want to put on record that I had
We'll
called.
correct that with those corrections on the minutes?
Yes, sir.
We're excused? Yeah, we can do that. Okay?
Second the motion.
Second on the motion with that correction. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. The next item, do we have any citizens' comments at this point?
We have no one signed up to speak.
All right, thank you. All right. All right, first item is to have preliminary consideration of the replat of the west 1/2 of Lot 8 and the east 15.5 feet of Lot 9, Block 161 Western Division into Lot 8C. And the granting of a variance for the lot.
Mr. Chairman, this item came up the last meeting. I know we tabled it
Yeah.
because we had some questions for the engineer, Mr.
Yes.
Guerra. He's in the audience today if you would like to ask him a question,
Sure.
whether you like it or not.
Mr. Chairman, for the record, applicant is Mr. Manuel Roldan. Engineer is Mr. Alfredo Guerra. The proposed use is residential, and the zoning for this one-lot development is CBD, Central Business District. This is the location view, aerial view, street view, the proposed plat or replat, comments from planning and engineering, and the proposed motion.
All right. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, Fred Guerra with Guerra Engineering. Yeah, we pretty much agree with the comments, and then just requesting a variance on the lot width. It doesn't meet the 46 feet, but yeah, the intent is residential. The gentleman wants to build a house. So he's being asked to do a replat on these two sections of lots that he owns.
Okay, so the other lots that are, was this a lot of record?
Well, part of it was, yeah.
I mean, because the way it's fractured and it says it's platted, so I'm taking it as a lot of record, right?
Yeah, it's platted. We'll just have to go through the replat, yeah. It's been platted before.
Yeah, so, but my guess is, and that's the picture of the area that you want to,
Correct.
and there's already existing dwellings on it? On the sides of this particular lot?
Right now, no. He's planning on building.
Do you have an aerial of the whole block? There you go.
Right there.
There you go. Okay. So on this aerial, we got a canopy on it, we can't really see.
Because if I'm
You have a street view?
All the trees
Can you give me
are
a street
covered.
view from there?
Yeah, okay.
the question is, what happens to the other half?
Yeah.
So this is the way they have it by the appraisal district here.
Right.
And then this, so we have this, other section that's being the remainder, you can borrow
Yeah.
the sketch? So we went into the plat book, we found that this is the remainder here as being identified as being one of the existing on the old plat book for the city of Laredo. So they're taking this section here and then another section from this one here.
Right.
Is lot
What happens
BB,
to the other 27 feet?
From lot 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, he doesn't own he only owns the east 15 feet of lot 9. So, he'll be able to replat that section.
How do you subdivide the lot if it's a lot of record? And how do you subdivide it and transfer it and accept a deed?
On those it's been done before many times, and how, I mean, I have no idea, but.
Why do you
it has been
accept
done.
it?
I mean, why he has those 15 feet, I mean, I don't know what the history is behind it.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, I just had a question, Mr. Chairman. Is the home part of the replat? That smaller home that's there? I'm just trying to figure out where I'm at too as far as the lots. So, that was my only question. Is the replat considering that the tiny home and the empty lot next to it? Yeah, where you're pointing, that, a portion of that?
It's vacant right now.
That's vacant right now?
Correct.
And then it's incorporating it from the neighbor? Is that part of that house? No.
No.
So it's just both those empty lots is becoming,
Correct.
all right, thank you.
And you're breaking up one lot and you're taking a cut to the other lot. You're leaving a 27-foot.
You're breaking up two lots.
Yeah, but you're leaving 27 feet of one lot that you can't use it for anything.
And it's gonna be like, okay, 7? No.
So if you grant the variance now, then you're gonna have somebody come in later to grant another variance.
Well, yeah,
of
because
what they're doing now today.
You've got a 27-foot front. Yeah. So,
Doesn't make sense.
But it still doesn't make sense.
now,
Again,
let me ask you a question. You said that the ownership of the other 27 feet is a different owner?
That's correct, yeah.
So right now, the way this thing is actually platted is, it was fractured a long time ago. And the 27 feet of that lot and the other, what you're actually doing is you're taking, well, actually, it was the other 15 feet. All you're doing is trying to make a lot out of something that was sort of
In between the property.
created a long time ago piecemeal, right?
right.
All that we're gonna have is, we're gonna have a 27-foot lot that is gonna stay there, but the other one is already, subdivided.
I don't think the word is taking, because he's not taking anything, that's just what he owns.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the other one is already subdivided. You already have it. It's already subdivided. All he's doing is bringing it two different,
I guess I'll.
and creating another lot for getting a
making
permit.
Yeah.
Now, the problem that comes into
create
this,
another problem.
but
for
here's
another-
the deal. Like you said, I mean, it doesn't have a minimum lot size.
And how do you subdivide a lot that was never platted the way it was platted to be too? Like Mr. Odena said.
See, this happens because there was an illegal subdivision.
That's correct.
And the owners
Yeah.
didn't go through a title company.
Right.
And so they bought pieces of land.
Yeah.
And so now they come before the commission and they're trying to correct the problem, but in correcting this problem, you're gonna create another problem.
That's right.
Yeah.
You don't resolve anything.
That
It
is
is.
pretty much what I
It
see
is.
too.
What happened is that if it's 27 feet wide and it's 138 deep,
Yeah.
then that lot actually complies with the minimum requirements of an R1A, which is about 3,200 square feet, similar to the lots that we have been approving for the,
Yeah, but the R1I is 30 feet frontage.
it looks like it has a residence on top of that
It does.
left over.
It does. It has one
So,
on the east side of this particular plat. There's a house already there, that's already there. Does the owner of this particular replat own also the lot to the west?
No.
Who owns the lot to the east? Or
No,
where the
to the
residence?
west.
That's somebody else. He just owns those two pieces.
So he knowingly bought those two pieces.
Well, through separate instruments, yeah.
Mande?
Through separate instruments, yeah.
Two separate
one
instruments.
at a time.
Could you,
What's gonna happen with the setbacks? Because if that residence is gonna stay there, it seems to me, Fred, that we're going all the way to the edge of the house. Is that it? I mean, there's not gonna be any setbacks?
Well, yeah, he will have setbacks
On the side?
house that he builds, yeah.
I don't know.
Does he need preliminary before approval, before he gets the variance? Or does he need the variance before he can, I mean,
well, the request is for a variance.
right, could he get the variance first and then come back to preliminary once he?
No, you can't.
No?
You gotta deal with the issue of the plat before you can deal with an issue of variance. But in this case, he's asking for both simultaneously.
The variance will be granted here from the P and Z?
We can, yes,
Doesn't have to go to the BOA?
no.
Wow.
What I see, Mr. Chairman, is that what he's replanting, it's what the owner owns.
I know.
So we got no business with the other lot that is gonna be left alone. Because if we don't approve the replat, then we're affecting the owner, the existing owner.
Yeah.
And if we approve it, it's not gonna impact on the remaining lot, so
I mean, right now you have an owner, somebody who wants to build a residence on the lot that he owns.
What residence is he gonna build? A 27-foot residence?
No, on the particular lot that he wants to make lot 8C, which is gonna have
¿Cuánto va a tener de frente?
it's got a 43-foot frontage.
43.
43. So he's 3 feet short
Sí.
of the minimum lot size. That's why he's asking for a variance.
that's right. So it's not,
Tienes setbacks de 5 pies en cada lado, le quitas 10, tienes 33 pies. You're gonna build a house that's 33 feet wide,
That's all you can build on that particular one.
and where is he gonna park the car?
well, he's
You
got
could-
43.
That's a 138-foot lot, so I mean, you could set the house back.
Yeah, he moves it back, he's still
You know,
got
you can
3 parking.
comply with the front.
And once you approve it, you just created another mess.
But I think, if I may add.
I think,
the-
go ahead.
So the one that's gonna be remaining, it's still an issue right now. The owner can't, even if we don't approve it today, the owner that owns that piece can't even build anyway. So
This is.
I feel we have an owner that wants to move forward. They have an issue that's gonna remain an issue no matter what.
Who owns the adjacent 27 feet? Do you know? I mean, you should know because you have to do the research.
This one here?
Yes.
No, on the other side, on the
this
other
other one,
side,
okay.
yeah.
Edelmiro Peña.
Deceased.
Yeah, it's just.
And he owns a residence there too, or what?
Correct.
Is he the one that sold them the lot?
No, not to my knowledge, no.
He sold your client the lot?
No,
Who sold them the lot?
I'm not sure who sold him the lot, yeah. I don't know the entire history of it.
I think we need to move and grant, this is my personal opinion, I think that what he's bringing before us, Mr. Chairman, is appropriate. And the variance, we live 43 feet, so we've been approving lots that are much less than that. I'm ready to move,
He's,
you close it.
let me ask one other question. He's a CBD zoning,
Yes.
residential lot in a CBD?
Where is the lot located?
And parking is not.
What's that, I'm sorry?
In front of
Where is the lot located, the
Yeah,
street?
it's on Zaragoza, yeah, right across from the shops,
The outlets,
the outlets.
where the old J.C. Penney parking lot used to be. The Penny, where you would,
Hotel that we bought, ¿no?
Pues no era un USD, no era la propiedad del
¿Es donde
USD.
está sumido para abajo?
Poquito.
you could park on the top next to the, was it J.C. Penney? You make your way down.
And you're right,
Porque Maine,
they used to have
In Zaragoza.
small lots, they would give them away.
I'm very familiar with that.
You're familiar with that?
okay, well, I guess we just need to, what are the wishes of the commission?
I'll make a motion to approve and grant the variance, Mr. Chairman.
All right, we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Those against, signify.
Aye.
How many do we have against? One, two, three. We have three, and I vote four. Okay, so, that's one. All right. Next item what we have is the preliminary consideration of the plat of Q and M McPherson plat, the intent is commercial.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, for the record, applicant is Patricio Canavati, engineer is Topside Civil Group. Proposed use is commercial, and the zoning for this one lot development is B1. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Proposed plat. Comments from planning. And traffic. And the proposed motion.
All right. Who's the, Rick?
Rick.
Sorry, my eyesight's squinting, I couldn't see. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Ricardo Villarreal with Topside Civil Group representing the client. We do concur with most of all the comments except for one, and that would be traffic comment number 3, stating a raised median will be required on McPherson. I know this is a contentious issue for a while now, both not only in this area but all over town. I kind of want to put an aerial on here. The site, if not everybody's familiar with it, is the corner here. So I guess it's a pseudo intersection. There is a traffic signal, but that traffic signal is dedicated to the entrance to, I
United?
believe, Herrera Middle School.
Yeah.
And so it's not in use all day, but just during the school peak hours where it's open. And then once those hours go through, the gates are closed, so that, I guess, doesn't turn into an intersection. It's just a pass through. Next, just north of the elevated storage tank there. The comment's kind of general. I spoke to my client. Obviously, he's in the economic development side of the point of view. He's against the median because it does limit his access. Also, the comment, it doesn't state limits of the median. The point that we did want to make is that at this signalized intersection, even though it's a through most of the time because it's green, because nobody's entering the school most of the day. Usually on this center turn lane, when you have a conventional intersection, you can take a left going west. Something like that would cause conflict because if you were to come southbound to turn into this site, that's when you can kind of run into each other. However, in this case, you don't have that. You almost have that dedicated turning lane just for him, where you can queue up from the intersection to where we think the driveway is going to go align with the apartments on the other side. There's going to be roughly around 130 to 140 feet to the center of this intersection. If you take away another 20 feet, you're at about 110, which that's about a normal parking space length is 20 feet, 18 to 20. So you can fit about 3 to 4 cars queued in the center turn lane. Another point is his type of business isn't gonna have, it's not a restaurant per se where like a McDonald's has, I'm gonna go ahead and guess on this, the high tens or even hundreds of cars per hour. He's looking at possibly somewhere in the 20 cars per day. His operating hours are 9 to 7. So 9 o'clock being off-peak time for the school, right? So by that point, that school gate is closed, so he doesn't interfere with any of that traffic. The afternoon traffic, you can say yes, there is some minor interference up until the point where people are trying to get in, but this is a signalized intersection that only goes one way, and that's east. So we do ask the commission to strike that comment so that we can proceed with the preliminary plat. I'll take any questions.
Do we know what he's gonna build there? What venue?
He is planning to build what he has. QM is Quality Motors.
That's what I thought.
Yes, that's what it stands for. You will be seeing a rezone coming in as well, coming here, but the plat is important to him because once we get preliminary, it takes us to the next step.
Yeah.
So
Where is it that the median kind of, could you kind of, I don't know, an idea of how that would, it would, from where to where, from the whole property?
and that's something that we don't know. I hate to give you that answer, but medians can range in various different ways.
Right.
There could be a 1 foot median with a dedicated turn left lane to our site. There could be a full blown median that's 14 feet, which is the center turn lane all throughout. I don't know the limits. The driveway to the south is the elevated storage tank. My guess would be 2 cars a week, maybe, going there to check maybe some of the infrastructure. The driveway here at the car wash got eliminated when they redid this used to be a Sonic, now it's a car wash. That driveway got eliminated. So even though it looks like this might be somewhat a busy corridor here, it's not as busy as maybe, we may think, even though McPherson is a major road. Now, McPherson being a major arterial, the cross-section for a major arterial is 5 lanes. 2 going one way, 2 going the other way, and a dedicated center turn lane.
Yep.
So this is the epitome of that turn lane being put into great use here. So, that's why
Do you know where potentially you're gonna be adjacent to that current driveway or that curb cut there?
So we're looking at, to make everything kind of symmetrical, on both sides, we'll probably align the driveway almost right on across the street from the apartments.
Yeah.
Just that way we don't have that conflict coming out.
Makes sense.
How far is the turning lane to start getting it, if you wanted to get into, where does that start if you wanted to make a ride into the school?
So good point here, and good thing we mentioned that. There's a dedicated right turn lane. In this case, highways you would call a deceleration lane. This is more like an auxiliary lane. It's specifically for the right turn lane. So the right turn lane starts somewhere here, and it tapers in, and it gets to the point where this, so it's almost the entirety of the width of the auxiliary lane is almost the entire frontage of this lot.
Yeah. I think the key thing here that you mentioned was that hours of operation start around 9. That eliminates a conflict with people getting to the school. In terms of the question of going southbound on that, to make a left to get in there, you mentioned, and you're right, the type of business that you're talking about is gonna have minimal traffic. You may have 1 an hour, 2 an hour at the most. It's not heavy traffic. And I agree with you. I mean, this design of this roadway is a 5-lane roadway, and it should continue as a 5-lane roadway. I don't see any real conflicts here, to be honest with you, that would require, a median. As you see, we're having a lot of problems with the medians that were built by TxDOT on 359. Tons of problems because they didn't really think it out. And I don't think we really need something there for minimal traffic.
I know.
That's my opinion of that.
Mr. Hernandez, will this be the only entrance in and out of the property?
Yes, we can only obtain one entrance.
You can only have one because
we cannot, even though it looks like we can. Mr. Radron knows, obviously an entrance, this is a private driveway.
Yeah.
So, it's gated somewhere at this point. So when those gates are closed, you don't even have public access. So we really, and being 100 feet away from this driveway, you can actually be a little bit less since it's not on an intersection. But we'll go ahead and use the 100 foot here. We're only allowed one driveway.
Ask what zone you're thinking of changing to?
it'll be a B, we'll go for a B3. Or, now, I am in current discussions with the owner, which the submittal date is on the 21st, right before Christmas, of course. We will probably have discussions with planning on whether a site-specific type of use is maybe better in this scenario than just an open-ended
Special use
B3.
permit?
Can we make a comment?
Conditional
A
use permit.
conditional use.
A
Make a
condition.
comment real quick,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman. I had a little conversation with TechDOT, and one of the reasons for the medians is to mitigate the accidents. And when we approved on the corner of Hillside and McPherson, we approved that business where they sell chicken. And that medium works beautiful there.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, it protects not only the community, but also we haven't had any accidents there at all. Now,
No, and you don't have any bottlenecks, because, I mean, there's no way you could have allowed traffic
You
to make a
can't.
left there. It was impossible.
I know exactly what Rick is saying, Rick, and just for the record, I put a call to Rick because I was curious and I wanted to have a conversation with him about this, but I guess he was too busy or he didn't get the message. For what it's worth, I do want to leave the comment there because I know that he still doesn't know what type of zoning, and it appears that he's gonna have that type of business once we approve the replat, see? Since we don't have McGee here to tell us why did he put that comment, and I understand that McGee is leaving very soon. Rick, can we leave the comment and then you can negotiate that once you come and bring us the preliminary on that, not to delay this? I don't think it would affect you once you started going. We're just gonna leave the comment, which can be strike once we have exactly, we know.
Well, the thing is, on this preliminary, basically going forth, if you really look at the traffic counts on this particular street, McPherson, you have peak periods early in the morning to 8 o'clock. After that, it's just normal traffic. Peak periods again at about 4:30.
Sí, unos 4:30.
But the amount of traffic flow that he's talking about generating is minimal. Not gonna impact any traffic there. The conflicts are gonna be very minimal because that dedicated turning lane that's in there is really your queuing lane. And then you have traffic lights right there, and then you have a traffic light further down on International that controls the traffic into that particular section. So the need for a median, to me, is totally wrong.
Yeah.
Because you have two lights that control
That
the
flow.
movements, you know? And that's why I'm saying, it doesn't make any sense to have that comment on a median, because you have control points.
And I agree with you, Mr. Sherman, and not to extend the comment, but that McPherson, it's horrible. It can be 1 hour, 2 hours, and it gets horrible there. And that's one of the reasons that I insist that we leave the comment. But of course, it's up to the board. I mean, whatever the board wants to do. That was only my personal comment.
Is there anyone here from traffic who?
No, he's not. No, and typically, in speaking to traffic, that left turn is always the concern, the coming out.
The people coming from the north,
And
trying to get into the business.
I think, if he were here, and it doesn't matter what the case is, he's gonna be specific to that left turn, because we're seeing that that's the norm of his comments. He just wants to eliminate the left turn for safety reasons, but it's very
Are
generic.
there any other areas in McPherson that have something like that?
And we've, not only that, and we don't just come in here and just to make a point, first procedural wise, Commissioner, if that comment is left, it has teeth to it.
Claro.
So when we go further, that's what the governing body has agreed to.
Yes, sir.
And on the other hand, we've also looked at if the median is put in there. So now you have, let's just say the median covers both of the entrances to the apartments. They now can't take a left to go north.
Okay.
So what's their route to get out? So usually when you put medians in the instances of 359 and 59,
That's affected.
you have 2-lane roadways with an 8-foot shoulder, or in the case of 59, 3 lanes. So when you get to the next street light, you can take a U-turn. Here, you're not gonna have these people come to this intersection on International, take a U-turn to go
doesn't work.
north.
No.
So, in a way, we also don't wanna create an even worse situation in the future. Now, somebody can say, yeah, you can take Shiloh, go back all the way around, up Shiloh, up International, up Shiloh to get to Domino's Pizza, because you don't wanna get delivery because it's so close. But that's something that we weigh very carefully, because safety is every engineer's number one concern. But there has to be a good balance in there on what we can do. In this case scenario, because there is no west turn lane off of the center turn lane, I think this calls for possibly maybe eliminating the median in this case. Now, there are certain cases, you made a perfect point. Haynes, when it opened up, there not only was a line going southbound, the northbound one, I mean, it was crazy. So in that case, that's a good example. In this one, the way we've looked at it, and in our opinion, I think we can, have that one out there for now.
Could we get a street view of the area, like in front of the apartments?
I would also consider, and I don't know, I've witnessed many a times that the fire uses the middle lane to get through traffic because they can't maneuver on the actual lanes because of cars. Putting in the median eliminates that. I don't know if that's an issue because without that, now what?
We could go either way.
Right.
I mean, we'll find a way in.
And the only issue is, if the property owner ends up selling this to McDonald's, then this is the only chance we get.
Not necessarily.
No?
The city can always come in and put a traffic, control device if there is conflicts.
Like they did in HEB there on Delmar, to go into the neighborhood?
Yeah, you can do it anytime. The city has an authority. At this point in time, like I said, you've got 2 control points, which I don't think the meeting at this point is necessary.
And
Now,
I've explained that to the client.
if, in the future, let's say that becomes a restaurant or whatever.
Right.
That generates tons of traffic, at that point in time, the city can look at it and say, you know what? This is causing a lot of conflicts. We're gonna go ahead and put a median on there. Because it's been done before in other areas.
Can we turn the view to the property? Like, I don't know if. So they'll, if anyone wants to turn, they'll get in the middle of both of those streets is what I was trying to look at.
You're saying going north?
Right, the middle lane there is
Yeah,
where
so
they're probably end
they'll
up
come in
queuing
here
up. Right.
and take-
Right.
And take
For
it.
example,
Okay.
there is
You've got plenty of
one
queuing
lane.
between this particular area, which is, the entrance to the school, and this particular driveway that you're
They
putting.
almost have a dedicated left.
left.
Right,
pretty
sí,
much.
claro.
Now, just to ease a little bit of that pain, so in the plating process, we're not responsible to put the median. However, there's 2 other spots that the median can be put in.
Yeah.
The city of Laredo can come and put a median up and down McPherson whenever they want.
Yeah.
That's one. And number 2, at the building permit, it also gets evaluated again by traffic. So at building permit, if a McDonald's were to come and put a McDonald's there, then they said, wait a minute, now the thing has changed, give me a TIA, all that stuff.
Mr. Chairman, let's not delay it. The medium is not gonna work there. What I'm looking at right now,
No.
it's not gonna work. So
Not
let's,
gonna work.
let's
It's
put it
not
to vote.
gonna work.
All right,
It's not gonna work.
we have a motion from anybody.
Yo,
I'll make a motion.
Motion?
make a motion to approve and scratch out,
Remove the comment.
remove the comment.
On the meeting. Do you have a second?
Second.
And a second. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against?
I abstain.
You abstain, all right. So, motion carries. The next item is a preliminary consideration of the plat of Village South subdivision, Phase 3. The intent is residential.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, for the record, applicant is Salinas Village Development.
Do we have a letter?
Yes, we have a letter.
I do have it.
Is there a
aquí
table
está.
on this?
Yes.
It got table.
Okay, and motion to table?
Motion to table.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. The next item is the preliminary consideration of the plat of Lot 1, Block 1, Wilkinson plat.
For the record, we do have Mr. Applicant Donna Gail Wilkinson, engineer is Armando Guerra, PE Premier Civil Engineering. The proposed use is commercial, and the zoning for this 1 lot development is AG. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. The proposed plat. Comments from planning. Traffic. And the proposed motion.
All right. Yes, sir.
Manuel Guerra, representing the client, and we concur with staff's comments.
Okay. Any questions for the engineer from the P and Z Commission?
What is it,
Go ahead, Larry.
what is the intended use?
That's gonna be, commercial.
What kind of,
The client wants to build a small office for his operations. That's why it's such a small lot.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, what are the wishes of the commission?
Move to approve.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Next item is preliminary consideration of the plat of Ramon Investments.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, for the record, applicant is Celso Antonio Rodriguez, engineer is Daniel Gomez, proposed use is commercial, and the zoning for this two-lot development is B3. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Proposed plat. Comments from planning and traffic. And the proposed motion.
All right. Yes, sir.
Good evening, I'm Daniel Gomez, the engineer for this project, and we concur with all of the comments.
Thank you. Any questions for the engineer? Commission?
No questions.
If not, what are the wishes of the commission?
move to approve?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion carries. Thank you. The next item is item 7, consideration of the following final plats and final replats. Can we have a motion to take all of 7?
So,
Make a motion.
We have a motion and we have a second from Commissioner Dominguez. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, can we have a motion now for approval?
so move.
A motion and a second by Commissioner Paz. All those in favor of the motion signify
Aye.
by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Meeting is over. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.